This is Ike Feldman with CBS Sports Radio and Radio.com. Again, we're on the UFC on ESPN Plus One Media Scrum. We talked to the blue side in Yancey. Now we're on the red side with GREGOR GILLESPIE. He is not a Long Island native. I'm a Long Island native, but he's been here for 8 years. GREGOR, what do you love about Long Island?
The opportunity in Long Island is definitely higher than anywhere else I've lived. I mean,
to catch fish, right?
To catch fish. Well, I mean, I don't saltwater fish, so that's everyone says you live in Long Island, you don't saltwater fish. I grew up in the Finger Lakes and on Lake Ontario.
Oh.
So yeah, we do freshwater fishing, and I found my good spots. You got to head out a little further east to like I don't want to say exactly where, but out east.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that.
I'm from Ronkonkoma, so that's
further
way
further,
east.
way past you.
So you said you landed on Long Island 8 years ago. Why'd you come down for the training? You could have picked somewhere in the city. I'm sure they got great gyms upstate New York.
Right, so
why'd you land on Long Island?
I'll give you the abridged version. I was
Give me the
finishing.
full bridge.
All right, I was finishing.
Give me the Brooklyn Bridge.
The Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, we'll be going over that tomorrow.
Don't jump.
Don't jump. So here's what happened. I was coaching at Edinburgh and finishing my degree where I went to college in Pennsylvania, Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania.
Shout outs to Yingling.
That's right. I finished up there, and I got a job offer at Hofstra. So I started coaching at Hofstra for a year. I was doing some private wrestling lessons at an MMA gym, and I started messing around, and I thought, hey, I could be pretty good at this. I was still competing freestyle wrestling at the time, and Jordan Burroughs that year won his first world title 1 year out of college. And I said, he's going to own this weight class for the next 8 years, 10 years. And I'm right. He's still the best guy in the world at that weight, and in the U.S., obviously, because he keeps going to the world. So, like, I made that right decision on that to get out of wrestling. So, yeah, that's what landed me in Long Island. And I stopped coaching a year later and focused on fighting, and here we are.
The craziest part about you and Jordan, I mean, no offense to Jordan, but you might end up with more career earnings at the end of the day. I mean, you made the right choice to choose fighting. Yeah. What advice would you give to an amateur wrestler transition into life? Does he have to jump in construction or be a gym teacher, or should you see MMA should be like a more routine outlet for that guy?
No, Jordan Burroughs will never fight. He's still one of, if not the best wrestler in the world at that weight class. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously he's going to be challenged by Kyle Dake in 2020, but they'll still have one more year at the 19 Worlds to be separate weight classes. So he's got another year or two, I think, in his competitive career.
Thanks, Mark. That's another Long Island native just walking through the shot.
Hey, Mark.
We got the Bermuda Triangle, Long Island.
Right? But
we're keeping this in.
So Jordan.
Thank you, brother.
So Jordan, I think made the right. Obviously, sticking with wrestling, and at this point, he's definitely a lot more career earnings than me. I think he's making. I don't know the exact number. If you win an Olympic title, you're getting $500,000.
No shit.
Yeah, he won an Olympic title. He's got 5 world titles. I mean, he gets paid, and I mean, at one point he was sponsored by Chobani Yogurt, so like, he definitely makes money. At this point, he definitely has made a lot more than I have. If I win a belt someday, that might change. But Jordan will always have a spot in the sport of wrestling, whether it's a world team coach, whether it's Olympic coach, whether it's him taking over at Nebraska. I mean, he's making money, and rightfully so.
All right,
let's owned that weight class for 8 years.
Let's put your salary into motion. Let's make this fruition come true, man. If you do become a UFC champion at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020, when I look at you, man, I see like this like spirit animal. Like when I saw that you train in Long Island, I was like, doesn't remind me of a typical Long Island guy. You bring like a kind of a fierceness, kind of an anger in there. Is that how you train?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I grew up wrestling, obviously, and my dad was my coach.
Toughest sport in the world.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, everyone's like, man, you're in a tough sport. I mean, yeah, getting hit is tougher than, the physical punishment you can take in wrestling, but there's nothing harder than college wrestling. I don't wish that lifestyle on anybody. I remember I got done with wrestling, and I said, my sentence is served. I'm so glad I never redshirted. I did 4 years, and I'm so glad I never redshirted. I wouldn't have done a 5th year. It was horrible, and I don't regret doing it. Obviously, got me where I'm at. And I think that's, I cherish that 4 years of my life. But I mean, when I'm coaching guys or like giving advice, I'm like, you got to really think it over if you want to do Division I wrestling, because it's not just going to practice and competing and doing a little bit of schoolwork. You're making weight twice a week for 4 or 5 months in a row. You're making multiple day weigh-ins. You're wrestling 1 hour after you weigh in, after hard weight cuts. You're wrestling every day in a room There's other guys who are, I mean, some of the best guys in the country or the world that are trying to rip your head off.
Right.
I mean, there's fist fights every day in a
Really?
wrestling. Yeah, of course.
Wow.
I mean, you've got young kids that are 19, 20, 21 years old, full of testosterone and cutting weight so they're ornery. And, you know, I mean, every day there's someone fighting in the room. And on top of that, you have to, you know, there's 2 workouts a day, 5
The
or 6
girl
days
says
a week.
no, then they come bring it to practice.
Yeah, they're mad at the girlfriend. They come into practice. They beat you up. No, but I mean, you're working out twice a day, 6 days a week. In the morning at 6:30 before an 8 o'clock class. Then you're going to school all day. You're doing a second practice, watching your weight. Then the next day you hop on a bus or an airplane. You travel halfway across the country. You miss a day of school. You wrestle. You come back. You got to make up that classwork. Then on the weekend you're flying to Vegas for a tournament.
Shit.
You're missing another day of school. It's just, I mean, it's a tough lifestyle.
Well, all right, you sold me, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to wish that sentence
I
on
don't.
anybody. I
That's
was going to
a tough
say,
life.
are you healthier now than 10 years ago when you were in the mix of the college 6 a.m. and
that's
a
like,
double
I
day?
mean, obviously, I'm about 10 years older than I was at that point. I think you.
How do you feel though? How do you like?
Really good. I feel really good. But I mean, I have a lot more rest time now, I would say. Like, I don't have to go to school
Right.
in between workouts, which is like, I mean, that's a rejuvenation period. I mean, obviously, you lay down for a little bit.
CBD.
Yeah, it's great, you know. But
That's what everybody says.
yeah, and it's good they made that legal. So, but no, I mean, I think younger guys recuperate and recover a little faster.
Of course.
They don't need as much sleep. You know, guys in their 30s that are fighting, I think they can be afforded a little more rest time. You know.
Yeah, man. Talking with Cejudo, it's like the grind it out. Chael talks about the wrestling, the grind it out. Khabib, you know, the injuries, and dude, the making the weight part of all. It's like the mental will that comes with it. Do you feel that, like, I hate to steal the Anthony Smith quote, but when it comes down to, like, you're gonna have to die in there if Yancey's gonna beat you, like, you bring an intensity, man.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
it's very unmatched.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No
That's
problem.
a big compliment. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I think the wrestlers that wrestled in college, especially at the Division I level, or beyond that, like DC or Henry, those guys, there's just that they don't know anything different. You know what I mean? And it's like they've done the horrible weight cuts and had to wrestle 1 hour later. They've done, so this is like a cakewalk. If you think about making that weight and then you get a 36-hour period before you have to fight. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? And like those guys are used to getting dragged to deep water or dragging their opponent to deep water. So like when things get really tough in a fight or in practice, I think the wrestlers can just cope with that a little better. And I mean, not everyone.
Well, dude, seeing your fights, man, you've been dinged a couple of times, and you're like, it's going to take more than that to kill me.
Yeah.
Like, and you power through it.
Sure, and that's not a conscious decision. That's just something that happens in the fight. You know?
Instincts?
I think so. I mean, a lot of times I don't even really, I don't know if you realize if you got dinged in a fight. I mean, I don't really process that.
Everybody just keep coming through. Just
something. I don't know if you even process that during a fight. I think it just happens, and you either go with the flow or you're knocked out.
Or in your case, you use your elite level wrestling. You take the guy down, you pass his guard, you get the mount. It's amazing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, Yancey knows your biggest gift. Obviously,
we're not talking about Yancey.
He knows your tool.
Yeah.
Talked to him earlier. He said he didn't bring in anybody special for you. Just used his team.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm not talking about Yancey.
Okay.
Yep. I like to stay away from that. So, just my preference.
Is it your type of game plan that you like to just like the John Wooden, the old UCLA coach that just focus on my game plan?
Yeah, that's me.
That's Khabib too. Same thing.
I don't need to worry. Listen, man, the second you start overanalyzing your opponent, you take the focus off of you and you start thinking about what they're going to do. And then you go on like, I like to use this analogy in wrestling a lot. If I'm faking a lot,
what do you mean?
Faking shots, jab faking, then it takes you off of your offense and now you're on the defense. It's the same thing. If you're watching a guy consistently and like worrying about what he's going to do, you're on the defense now, and that's not an option for me. So we don't even go there.
Amazing.
I'd rather watch me winning on tape than my opponent at all.
Nice. That's actually a different style. A lot of people, they like to break down what they're doing, but
I'm not changing anything.
Is it give you a confidence, or just like you want to work on shit, I didn't pass well on that. I was a little flat-footed on my.
You got to see yourself doing what you're good at. So hey man, that entry was really good. How did I do that? Let me try to replicate that again. That kind of attitude.
Gotcha. Yeah. At UFC 210, I was up there in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I regret being in the back. But I was with Robin Black, and he goes, "Hold on, Ike." He goes, "Gregor's fight's on." I was like, "Okay, let me check this out." Knocks you out. I got the live play-by-play of Robin Black. He's like, "Oh my God, Swifting!" It's like Dude, you're complimenting now. You're wrestling with great striking, of course, with Keith Trimble and the Belmore kickboxing team. Andre
Harrison.
No, who's the boxer fighting this Friday?
Algieri. Andre Harrison's my MMA training partner. Probably the best 45-pounder on the planet, in my opinion. Algieri is obviously an extremely
disgusting boxer.
Well, yeah,
awesome.
I mean, he was the world champion. He beat Ruslan Provatnikov a few years back to take the title.
I don't know boxing.
Fought Pacquiao right after.
Oh, really?
Wow. Fought Amir Khan. Fought Errol Spence Jr. I mean,
shit, I didn't know that. I don't know.
He's very good.
Well, so how do you feel putting it all together? You feel more confident in this?
Sure. I mean, anytime you get your striking better, it.
Come on through, Sandu.
Yeah.
Love you, brother.
Anytime you get your striking better, it allows you to be more confident in your wrestling. Anytime your wrestling's better, it allows your striking to be more confident. You know, it's like you have an insurance on both ends.
Okay.
So
amazing. My last thing, what's the craziest party story, man? You seem like a wild guy, likes to get it, maybe drink on the boat, catch some fish. Can you explain any craziness?
I haven't had a drink since May 31st, 2010.
Come on.
Swear to God.
Anything else?
I went to rehab the next day.
Shit.
So there's a good one for you. How's that?
What would you be doing if you weren't fighting? Where would you put that energy, man? Because that mind is very creative and very passionate.
If you're an addict, it's not just if you're a drug addict and you change the aim, you're going to have the same mentality in a good direction or a bad direction. And that's why I eat clean year round. That's why I train 3 times a day, 6 days a week, year round. I need structure. I need regiment. I need that like strict lifestyle or I get off course. I need to have my aim like on the bullseye year round.
Okay, so if I had to sum it up, basically anything you put your time into, you'd be good at.
Yeah, my neck says 1 or 100.
Who says what?
My neck, it says 1 or 100.
Meaning all or nothing?
All or nothing.
Okay. Still an answer though. What would you do if you weren't fighting?
I'm not sure. I'd probably be competing at something else physically, like a biking or running or something. I'll
nothing physically. Because obviously you're
I'd be fishing.
Okay, and you think you'd be the best fisher?
I'm not sure I'd be the best, but I'm sure I would wiggle my way into a TV show or something.
Nice. Well,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Gregor, good luck this Saturday against blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you got it.
Can't wait for the fight. I'll be there, man. You represent Long Island. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.